Well, listen to this. Academic grants worth millions of dollars and paid for by you, the taxpayer, have been slammed as failing to benefit the Australian public. According to the Institute of Public Affairs, some Australian Research Council grants include a number of obscure projects. Dr. Bella de Brera is the Director of the Foundations of Western Civilisation program at the Institute of Public Affairs. She's conducted an audit of more than $1 billion of your money, and she joins me now from Melbourne. Thank you for your time, Bella. These academic grants, I tell you, worth millions and millions of dollars. They're meant to now have a national interest test, but what have you found?
Well, so 2 years ago, Dan Tehan introduced a national interest test, and he said that it was being introduced so that in the future any minister could look an Australian in the eye and say, your money is being wisely spent. I've had a look at the most recent announcement of proposals that have been funded by the government, $90 million worth. And there are a number of those proposals that really beg a belief, and I really can't see how they would benefit Australians in any way whatsoever. And it's $3 million worth. So you've got something called a sonic approach to anti-colonialism in interwar India. You've got another project that looks at Laos socialism, and a third one that talks about Indigenous LGBTQ+ and creative artists. So none of these really benefit Australians in any way whatsoever.
So how's this value for money for taxpayers? I mean, I said at the top of the show, $850 billion of national debt. It's a huge job to pay that off. We're going into rocky recession waters anyway. We've got quite a sizable deficit, the largest in our history, yet we're throwing good money after bad here, it would seem.
Yes, I think Australian taxpayers should be asking the government why it is still funding these kind of projects when we are in a state of crisis, when we are facing this huge amount of debt. And I think, this national interest test clearly isn't working. And I think Australians need to be rightly concerned about where their hard-earned money is going at this time.
Yeah, I'd be having a pretty hard-line view at the October budget and say that they're all of these wacky grants, and I looked at a whole lot of them. We'll come to one in just a moment today. I went through reams and reams of them on the Australia Council website. They all should be in abeyance, because the last thing we need, as I said, is good money after bad at a time when we're in a lot of financial trouble. That one I mentioned at the top of my show, this Melbourne artist, she's got a federal government grant to, wait for it, live stream her self-insemination of donor sperm. Her name's a performance artist, Casey Jenkins. Well, she said the project, titled Immaculate, was designed to allow people, and this is her words, to witness a moment of creation. I mean, really and truly, Bella, the Australia Council, funded by all of us, said in a statement, we can confirm the artist received a grant from the Australia Council towards the project. Well, what do you make of that?
Look, I mean, it's just staggering that the Australian public are having to pay for this kind of thing. You might remember that the Abbott government actually cut funding to the Australia Council a few years ago, and unfortunately that was overturned by the Turnbull government. So now the Arts Council, the Australia Council, is going ahead with writing blank cheques for nonsense such as this. And I would also say that, she's called this project Immaculate, which is incredibly offensive to Catholics, many of whom are paying for her project through their taxes. So we're essentially paying to be insulted by this kind of crazy project.
And look, I've no issue with arts funding it, but there are so many arts organisations, the broader arts industry, that have absolutely been king hit by this COVID crisis, particularly the live arts industry. Surely they're far more deserving of our support.
Well, yes, but I think the liberal, the sort of the creative elite that occupy the Australia Council have different ideas about what constitutes culture and what doesn't. And I think, again, Australians really need to question where their money is going, especially in this time when people are losing their jobs and, families are without, and then we're basically paying to see someone self-inseminate on the internet. And it's just outrageous.
And we've supposedly got a coalition or a Conservative government in Canberra. Bella de Brera, thank you as always for your time. Thanks for your analysis.
Thank you.
Too.